And we are back with some Q&A to close it off. Oops, I closed the chat. Let me see. So I have already a list of questions that we're going to ask. And obviously there might still be questions in chat that you come up with right now. So feel free to ask them as well. First question. I mean, maybe we can do some post-game discussion first.
How it went.
Yeah.
Well, it went, I would say shit, good.
Yeah, it was somewhere there.
The last
we all
one
learned a
good?
valuable
It's like
lesson about
it's like an-
teabagging tonight.
It was an extreme lack of co-op.
Yeah, we were very much playing in a, not the best way in the first game. I think that...
So we always had this thing with our game, right? So since now we picked some characters, we went on with it, right? Then you get a certain kind of game. When you earn that character, you survive a little bit, you add the stuff, you play way more carefully. And that moment where you're dying feels way worse, right? So that is a little bit like that. But yeah, went pretty good.
I think the last game we played was by far the most interesting because we got some really lucky shit that happened with that one.
I mean, you did have a lot of kills, but I did think that the second game was the most fun to watch.
Yeah, it was.
That was maybe.
That was the tensest one for us. I mean, that was actually. I feel physically tired after having played
me
that
too.
one.
I'm really tired.
That was actually just two groups that went after you in that second match. Like right towards the end, that firefight went on.
Yeah.
The weird one with that was that we had the chance to get it and get out, but the risk was really high there because they knew where it was, they knew where the bounty was. And then, as it turns out, someone actually told us afterwards that they did grab it and they did get out with it.
Yeah,
So
we were so
won,
panicky we couldn't even tell it.
We got a good question first. How sad were you that the missed shotgun blasts are like...
A little bit.
I think we're going to be hearing
The
about
thing with
that.
that one was like I was like celebrating quite hard even before I shot, right? And then it's like was like- there was-
Hubris is a hell of a
there was
motivator.
two. Yeah, there was two of them. Didn't help. I missed both of them, but
The dynamite toss in the third match, that was pure gold though.
Which one? The one that went...
The one on the roof.
Oh, yeah. So that... It looked like it went through the concertina wire as they were trying to get each other, which was cool because they were doing the same thing we did last time with the guy stuck in the concertina wire trying to get him up, then the other guy falling down. I tried to stick it to the roof, but I throw like a terrible thrower, so it just went straight through it. But it still seemed to do some damage, hopefully.
what's next?
How many bosses are expected to be at launch?
Yeah. So with launch is so here's the thing. Our game is right not the boss fight is not. It is cool and it's needed because it kind of draws all the player there, but we're not really a pure boss fighting game. So before we go and make a shitload of bosses and then have to try to figure out all the problems to make them work, we only have 2 right now. But we have a long list of ideas to do it later. And then what we're going to do more is like, first we have some things extra to prove here because they kind of behave a bit differently and they have to work in all locations. Then we're gonna send out concepts and game pitches and show you guys, and you guys can be part of picking the next bosses, right? That's how our plan is. So I'm not so worried about only having 2 for start because we're gonna upgrade quite a bit as we go, right? And it's not gonna be like a year in between. So you have to be part of it and help us pick the next stuff.
Okay. Someone asked, is a headshot a one-shot kill?
It depends on the gun, but in most cases, yes.
Yeah, and there's one bug there now because we have the hive, the one with the woman with a burst out chest, and the headshot doesn't work. So sometimes you unload there and then it doesn't
Well,
work.
her head doesn't really.
I would also separate a little bit between players and AI. So there is a difference between those two. So AI obviously is going to be, the idea is that they will be somewhat more, it can be a little bit more inconsistent. So if, different types of enemies, they can take a little bit more damage. When it comes to other players, so it needs to really be consistent.
Yeah.
Okay. Have we gotten confirmation if 5.1 or 7.1 surround sound will be supported?
I don't know, actually. I
also don't know.
Yeah, we're not...
So let's do like this, because we're going to do like a dev streams from the team departments. Remind that question, and we're going to do with audio. They can all do all that stuff.
Okay, I'll just note questions that we can't answer right now. As Magnus said, we will get developer streams also developer streams where they're actually working on something, but we'll save this for now.
Yeah.
You're planning insta-death, but did you thought about retrieving gear from your dead body?
It's been discussed, as with most of the ways that these mechanics work for us. It did come up a number of times. It's come back and forth, and we felt that it was something that was detrimental to the game initially. I mean, maybe, I don't know if you want to cover this one a little bit more. We decided not to do it right now because we want you to rely on your teammate, and it also erodes a little bit the fear of loss if you still have the ability to go in and get your stuff out. It's something we may touch on again in the future, but for the initial release, probably not.
Okay.
We had some, that thing also goes into the whole, when you revive, like we don't want like revive party, so we had some ideas about like you revive, you get up, like you crawl up out of the mud or something further away, and now you have to go a little bit trapped, like a little bit back and find your gear. But all those things are potential things. I can't promise any of it. Currently, this is how it works. We're gonna see what we can do to make it better later.
There are a couple of also small points to this as well about the revive mechanics, because it came up in previous streams and it was a question a lot of people asked about. You can revive your buddy, as you can see. The times and the conditions that you see in reviving right now are in a very, very early state. It could be longer, it could be shorter, it could be different conditions. Do you have bleed out, so your player actually bleeds out on the ground and dies and things like this? We haven't got it too much into that yet. We just have the most basic mechanics. So when you see us die and then we get each other up super quick, then that's not really ideal for us.
Yeah.
We're still going to be working on that one.
Awesome. Is there going to be, or is this going to be the only gameplay mode, or do you releasing more modes, like Arena, for example, where it's 1v1 versus a monster?
Okay, so here's the thing with our game. So first off, we need to get this one as smooth and playable as possible, right? We still have a lot of things to do to get to that point. But our system is built up quite friendly for creating modes, right? So we have that map with all the compounds. We have that map. So now we saw a map where it was one boss, and you're kind of shrinking down the area. We play sometimes with two bosses. And then you get like two areas shrinking down, and then you can kind of see like if there's a lot of gunfire going on in one, you can go to the other one and stuff like this. But we can also say like everybody spawn, but like we can move the spawn points too and say just like the battle at the village and everybody dukes it out or something. There's all kinds of possibilities, and it's like a very popular thing to do in the team and pitch ideas. But until we have this thing really smooth and multiplayer friendly, we're gonna put a hole on that stuff. But we're gonna do it. Just whatever it is, we haven't really picked yet. So.
Okay. Will you be able to disable the blue outline on teammates?
It's possible with a CVAR in our dev builds at the moment. Whether it's something we ship with, I mean, it sounds like it's an easy thing to add or not add. Sure.
So we need something. Currently, we're having that one as our thing. It gets criticized for all kinds of ways where like it's too weak, or if there's none, I'm shooting my buddy. So we need a tell. That's the one we're using because we had that shader going. So, but I think we're gonna have to evaluate and think a bit about it if it's the right one for a while. But so far, we're gonna go with that one.
Okay. Is there a penalty if you're being down numerous times, like he just was? I mean, that was an example. I mean, this is kind of what has been answered before. Someone else answered or asked a question about that related. Would you be able to loot ammo from monsters or your teammate?
So again, you can't steal your stuff from other players because you can log in and just die, and you can ruin the economy a little bit like that. But we're planning on giving you stuff for killing monsters, and like they have some extra stuff in the pouches. You can go and stealth kill a few of them, pick up the ammo, and then you can go on again, right? That's kind of where we are with that. We'll see what else.
Okay. As you level your hunter, will you also be able to upgrade passive stats like health pool and recoil control, for instance?
Yeah, exactly like that, right? So when you level up your hunter, that's a difference from the bloodline. So the bloodline is like you, the bank, whatever. Like so, if you unlock weapons, that gets unlocked in the bloodline. The hunter himself, he gets like passive traits, right? So when he gets a hunter point, he can increase his health bar or improve it. Taking more damage or chop it up indifferently, stuff like this. There's some versions of it, and you can also then, or you can choose to buy a passive trait, and that is like dual wielding, gunslinger, fanning, carry more stuff, all that stuff, right? And you can level up your hunter to level 50, I think. So yeah. On the other hand, if you play like us, you don't need to level up because we
Right.
fucking die all the time. So.
I mean, that really adds to that fear of loss if you have a hunter that
Yeah.
you put a lot of stuff in.
Yeah, and also what we didn't do here is like if the situation is so bad, you can also ditch with what you have and play again. Save your guy, basically.
Okay. Does the ammo cart
Yes, they do,
randomize
yeah.
you?
The spawning of those is a randomized thing.
Yeah, we try to do a lot. So every time we play, those zones are different,
Mhm.
right? Like especially if you play two bosses, those ones are differently placed too. So what you didn't see there is before, like when you join up with a buddy, you see a map and you can evaluate that map and saying like, should we first go to this one, then go and resupply and go over there? So we have like a little tactical element in there, and it also helps just the game to last longer and be more randomized.
Were the game textures on maximum for the stream?
There is
Not
no-
at all, man. What you saw there is like an array of things. So we still have things to fix with the gameplay, and I do not care if we show a white box gun right now. Which we did. You had a white box shotgun, right? Like this is a journey. When we go and in the beta and invite people, the game will still not be finished. So I'm not gonna spend my time on high on the texture level and all that stuff because a lot of buildings are like all the weapons are not final models. They're like representative, so they're kind of there with the texture on it and stuff like this. And we can play that, and we can tune the gameplay and make it more fun, and then we can upgrade the look of that later.
Gameplay first.
I'm not more worried about that at all.
Will there be attachments for weapons in the game?
So what we have right now is kind of like a weapon with an attachment is a new weapon.
Mhm.
So you buy that weapon. So for example, like we have like a brutal design language in our weapon, right? I don't want any of that flair from the era. I want to look like these guys did it themselves. So you have a Winchester and somebody just mounted a butcher blade there, so you can start chopping heads with, right? But that is a new rifle you can buy in the shop. So you don't have a rifle and then you upgrade it.
Okay.
So you buy that basically.
How many developers are currently working on Han Showdown?
Clueless. 80.
Yeah, it's around.
It's about 80. It's like a.
I just never know how many
It's a big
to
mix
count
of people, right? We have. I don't. Yeah, no need to go into that anymore. We don't have 80 about, but it's like a big mix of people. So.
Yeah.
Managers, everybody is counted.
Yeah, I mean the team counts
Yeah.
sometimes get. It depends on if you're counting like in usually we do it's audio teams, support teams.
So
Quality assurance, all that kind of stuff
Yeah,
mixes
but like
in.
developers versus also.
Yeah, developers versus so it's a lot to get into, but Yeah.
Will there be leaderboards in the game?
yes,
Yes.
because you need to compete with your bloodline, right? You will compete with stats like headshots, kill death ratios, all that stuff, but also leaderboard, how you comparing with everybody else, right? That's what you want to do. I'm not gonna, as we said, like we're gonna be brutally honest, so I'm not sure we have the resources to do that for the very first thing immediately, but it might come in a week or two later or something. And I can't promise anything.
I know that it's very high on the list.
Yeah.
Of course,
wants
it's what's-
internally. So yeah.
That's what, when I play these games, I play similar games, and that's what I'm competing with, right? So it's crucial, but we also have to think about the resources we have for the game.
Exactly. There will be. Will there be some kind of elo or level rating to make matchmaking fair? So based on levels of hunters.
Well, I think it's fair to say at the moment that the level disparity is not super big all the time with people. There will be some conditions that the matchmaking will need to make.
Yeah.
I can't tell you exactly what those conditions are, and I can't tell you in too much detail because we have some. That system's basically being worked on right now. So the matchmaking system and getting that implemented and having it nice and clean and fair and stuff like this. I don't know if you have anything further on that one, but
it's not just about hunter levels in the game because we do have a kind of wider progression where it's not that you're getting always strictly better equipment, better hunters. It's that you're getting different options to go into it. So
we don't want to end up, I think, having a matchmaking system that cares about too many details and too many conditions of players try to get. We want it to be fairly simple, fairly generic, just to get people into a game quickly and whatnot.
it's about nailing that criteria.
Yeah.
So that's currently in development.
Yeah.
Does the game have a global chat or will have a global chat to chat with other players?
It will mimic. The plan is for us at the moment is the chat in game will mimic the in-game voice. So the 3D positional voice has a limit, a range limit of it. So if you're chatting, you will be able to chat, but it will be limited by this sort of X number of meters around you as a player.
That's like your chat.
Yeah.
Like I think what they're asking is like if you can kind of like type another
That's
number
what I
and
mean.
you speak into the
No,
wall.
I mean the typing one. So the typing one is going to be the similar.
Yeah, we'll have the
distance.
same
Yeah.
distance fall off
Yeah.
as your voice.
Yeah.
Will this be a Steam only game or will we release on standalone client?
We'll start on Steam,
Mm-hmm.
see what happens.
Yeah, Steam, and then the sky's the limit.
Will there be a spectator mode for players who die during the game?
Not for the.
Because this is
initial
like
release.
crucial.
Not
Not for now. Like I think that the whole point in our game is like wondering what's around the corner and
Mhm.
if somebody can ruin it, I wouldn't go for there. But
Yeah.
I think we're missing other stuff too, like kill cams and all that stuff. And so that's not what they're asking for. But right now, no spectator is planned for this.
Yeah,
It
I mean, I'm
does-
not sure if it's like spectator of like spectating
Yeah.
your teammate because I do feel that that's what they mean. Like
Yeah.
they see what he sees.
That's what I was going
then
for as
I'm
well,
not-
yeah.
Then,
Yeah.
then I'm not so worried.
Basically, we just want to avoid that people can die and then see exactly where everyone is on the match. The mystery is the
Yeah,
whole point of
they
it.
phone the buddy and we
Yeah.
fuck.
I mean, we haven't
Exactly.
decided even if like, okay, so when you're down, where's your camera going to even be lying? Is it going to be a free look camera around your corpse so you can get a little tiny bit of situational awareness and talk to your buddy? Or whether there's a camera that actually goes to your buddy so you can see what he sees and whatnot. It definitely will not be any kind of spectator cam that can see other players, and those players can use that information to relay
Right.
to their teammates and basically cheat.
Do they have? Does the game have Q&E lean character mechanics in game? I believe we do, but
You
we
mean
have
like-
them on the strafe
Presently, we don't have lean
No.
implemented into the game.
that you can do this. And
No,
that?
we don't have a lean right
No.
now.
We have to evaluate it.
Okay.
It's come up a few times, and right now we want to make sure that just the regular movement is nice and clean, nice like the vaulting, the jumping, the movement in general, and then we will evaluate that again.
Yeah, we have some groundwork to do before we get there.
Someone asks, once the line turn gray, or the lines like the two
The
stripes,
HUD element in the top left. There.
yeah, turn gray. Does that mean someone escapes with the bounty?
Yeah.
So
Because first
basically,
they're red, and then
what happened in that second match is each target drops 2 bounty tokens. So you and your partner can take it, or what worked out with these guys is they managed to grab one, and during the firefight and the confusion, another team managed to grab one. So what they were seeing is like they had half of the total bounty. The other team was making off with the
So
other.
what it says is like you have one or somebody else has it.
so what does red mean?
Like red means they have it, and then the gray is the it's not filled
It's,
in.
yeah, it's no
Okay.
longer available.
Yeah.
Will there be private servers or like private rooms? Is what they say.
You mean like local hosts or something?
Yeah, I feel like local hosts or lobbies.
I mean, this is something that comes up quite a bit. I think when we're starting out, the idea is that each match needs to be a mystery. You're not going to know who's playing, how many people are in the world.
The problem comes from the second you have control over who you're playing with. Either it needs to be basically dislinked from the progression,
Yeah.
or what players can end up doing is they can create a session, wait for those guys to kill the thing or kill each other or abuse the system to the point where they can get the rewards, and then we don't want players working together to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's something we would like to avoid if possible.
Someone said the escape mechanic is interesting. Did you guys toy at all with the idea of an actual escape? Like you gotta get the card going and then actually drop it out.
That would be pretty sweet.
That's
Yeah,
pretty
that
cool.
would be pretty sweet. So what we gonna live with? Because we don't have. I mean, the truth is we don't have. We are some short of on resources, right? So, what we do is like the thing we absolutely need to get the match to work. And right now it's a boat with a green lantern, or it's what do you call it? Wagon.
A card.
Cart, but like with a green lantern, right? We have a cool ass concept though, with one of those ones and like a minigun in the back. So if we ever get it going, that can be stuff like spraying bullets all over the
like
thing.
you can
So-
jump on a horse and fucking gallop
yeah, yeah.
out.
That's another thing. It's like horses and shit like this. We
Yeah.
want that too, but
Mhm.
that's gonna take some time.
Okay. Someone mentioned it earlier. The boss icon should be hidden until they know what they're hunting.
Now, so currently, when you take so here's the thing, you have some weapons are good at different things, and like shotguns, like or like let's say you have a sniper rifle and you're gonna fight the spider. The spider is super fast. If you don't know that, then you're in
You
shit.
can't plan for your mission. Basically.
Yeah. So you know in the beginning what it is you're looking for, but you don't know where it is. And even when you play two bosses, you don't necessarily know where they are. So you need to know what boss it is, so you can kind of tactically make a choice, right? Like we want to bring a lot of those things in because we're gonna kill him with those things, and then we're gonna move on and stuff.
And later on, there may also be gear and items and stuff that has certain advantages over those types of AI.
Yeah.
or
So
those types of
exactly.
bosses.
Yeah, exactly. I think we talked in the game, but a lot of the items we're missing is to make that showdown more interesting, right? Like how gears and gadgets that are tailored to take out or slow down the spider or something. And if I don't know which one it is, then it's gonna be like, what the fuck am I doing with this piece, right? So
I mean, it would be cool to have some like random modes where you don't know where you get into.
Yeah.
if it can be on one of the mode thing, who knows? They can be on that one, right? So it's currently not though.
I mean, it will come from again the community's reaction and telling us what is it
Yeah.
kind of things you want to see. Maybe that's one of them. Sure. Yeah.
So
I like that,
once
you got
once we have the
cartridges.
game out, just let me know because I'm the community manager. I'll make sure that we will listen to you. Will Hunt run on Windows 7 64-bit?
I don't know the answer to that actually.
I mean, right now we're still getting into the range of stuff. I know that is something that we're exploring, but I don't want to give a concrete answer either way. That's definitely something we're looking into, making sure that the game runs on a variety of specs and a range of stuff. But
I would say it's in
Yeah.
our interest to try to find as many different places people can play the game as they can, but we don't want to commit to anything at
Right.
the moment.
right.
Modding support with CryEngine. I have a few dares. Also, how does this project contribute to R&D
R&D,
for
like
CryEngine?
research and development. Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Go ahead.
Right now, the big thing for us that's being worked on for Hunt is the schematic tool. I mean, that's a really significant engine feature that a lot of the stuff you see here is built with that. The AI is built with this. Game elements are built with this. It's basically it's in development with Hunt, and it's enormously powerful. It has a lot of potential for us in the future to iterate on things more quickly. And from our side, from the game side, that's been something we focused a lot with. Other features moving forward, I mean,
just in general, we work really closely with the engine guys
Yeah.
day to day. I mean,
Yeah.
they're always helping us out with stuff, and all of our systems go into their stuff, all their systems go into our stuff. I mean,
yeah,
pretty
and
close.
now Hunt is the priority game, so
Mhm.
everybody focuses on it.
they all want the same as what we want.
Yeah.
We want to make a cool game. We get a lot of people playing it. We can iterate on it, give people what they want to see. So it's in everyone's interest to get the best possible game out there.
Awesome. Okay, then one last question. I know we answered this one before, but how many guns are in the game?
We have a list for this,
Yeah, it's right
a cheating list. So
We
so
can't remember numbers.
Here's the thing, right? The thing is like grinding for gears, gadgets, and tools is what you do in this game. Try to come up and buy new stuff and explore that stuff, right? So the goal is to have an amazing list, right? Then as we're gonna start going into bed at one point and all this stuff, but we're gonna start with some set and then we're gonna go off there. So if I say number now, doesn't mean when you guys get to play it, it's that number, but it's the smallest number we can commit to right now is like 9 pistols, 12 rifles, 8 shotguns, 3 melee weapons, 3 slingshots, 7 tools, 9 consumables, 3 world items, and 16 traits. But I mean, this is something we're really gonna crush on and go and do a lot of stuff because like our weapons are built into tiers as well, kind of like the ones as is. We want to be kind of true to its time. Then we have like customized version. Somebody had a belt-fed revolver, and then we're having more end-game legendary stuff, right? Something more that takes
Time to
Yeah,
grind.
exactly right. So this is what we're gonna push a lot on, and luckily that's the easiest thing to get out right now. So
Mhm.
it's gonna expand.
Okay, well, thank you guys so
Thank you.
much.
Before you go, I wanted to give a quick shout out to everybody that was playing opposite these guys.
Kicking our ass. or
Yeah,
getting
give
our ass
us
kicked.
give us a big hey, Bruno. Bruno, our project manager over here, led the charge.
Hey, Bruno!
Yeah.
Woo!
And also, we're fighting QA, right? And if anybody have worked in games before, QA is the worst people to play against because they play every day. And
I mean, they've been taking it very easy from what I've seen.
I think you guys are gonna pay for those tea bags in future play sessions.
Why?
You will.
Yeah, no, thank you
And
guys
also
so much.
donate to
I was
the
about
kids.
to
Yeah,
say.
donate to Extra Life. We're here supporting these kids. We gotta reach these kids.
Are we
Gotta
done?
reach these kids. We have currently 525. The donation has been stopped for a while. Come on, let's get the train going again.
Yeah.
Thank you guys again for being here and showing us more of Hunt. I'll be taking a break first because I need a break, and then I'll continue with some SOS. So
Okay.
I
Cool.
hope
Thank
you
you
guys
guys
are
for
excited.
watching.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.